get into Sinners.
But what was the thing that you walked away thinking first and foremost? Because I know what I thought first and foremost.
I would say the first thing that came to mind as I'm watching it is that I've never seen anything like this before.
Yeah.
And what I mean by that is the intersecting of genres mixed together to make this film. I don't really think that it is solely classified as a horror film.
Yeah.
I know they had to choose a genre, but in my eyes, this could be a horror film. It could be a musical. It's a period piece.
Yes.
It's also action.
Yeah. It's got a little historical stuff in it,
Yeah,
right? It's a little
exactly.
historical.
It's like a gumbo of genres and styles, and I love that.
Yeah, I agree with you. And I thought that I was very happy to be walking into a horror movie. As you know, I love horror movies, and
Right.
that's why I was like, I'm not gonna wait. I know everyone was like, don't wait, don't wait, don't wait, but I was like, this is a horror movie. I'm always showing up for that genre. And while I was sitting there, I didn't know that it was a vampire movie. I thought that the horror was these brothers trying to, you know, buy something from the clan, and I thought it was going to be like a survival, making racism what it is, which is a horror. Like I didn't realize that it was a um a uh, a vampire movie. So just to
Yeah.
not sort of be linear about it, but so that moment when the characters show up at the clan brothers house, when the
Mhm.
Native American posse is chasing them, and then he attacks the husband, and he's waiting for the wife, and you see the
Mhm.
teeth. I didn't know the person sitting next to me, a white dude. So that was funny, right? I said, "This is a horror." Like I talked because I was like, is this a vampire movie? And I was stunned. I had no
Wow.
idea because it was like easily 45 minutes in. Like I
Right.
have to go back.
I was going to ask, did you watch any of the trailers, or did you maybe you only caught like the
Not
initial
one.
trailer? It was like a
I
teaser. Oh, so
heard
you did.
I heard that he had a movie coming out and that it was getting very big numbers. I tend not to watch trailers too much. I
Got
usually
it.
occasionally, because they give too much away.
Mhm. Mhm.
Um so like when you go into a movie, I love when I stop thinking about it as a writer or I stop thinking about it as a producer, and there were so many times that I just became 13-year-old Vicky in a movie theater, like this. Like I was hooping and hollering and yelling during this movie. But overall, what I left with, um, first of all, I had a newfound love for that music. I dated somebody for 10 years who played that music and loved that music. So I've been around that music, and I
Yeah.
forgot how powerful it was.
I was
And
getting ready to say it's powerful music. Yeah.
powerful music and the visual storytelling that he can do with a camera,
Mhm.
right? How
Mhm.
he shot black skin was
Yes.
so beautiful. His choices with it almost was like a graphic novel at some points,
Yeah.
the imagery. There was one thing I have to say, the way the movie started, right? It started with two things that he did that I don't like personally in movies normally. Was he
Mhm.
started with the voiceover about, music and calling into the calling in ancestors and the devil and all that. Started with the
Mhm.
voiceover. And I was like, interesting, a
Mhm.
voiceover, okay. Um, but then when he started with Preacher Boy,
Right.
showing up, it was so great. Like you didn't know what happened, why his guitar was, a
Right.
bat, and
Face
and
slap.
first of all, and then he goes into right. He's just slashed across the face, right? And then he goes into that church, which I loved the image of that church, but it was
Yeah.
so beautiful. So I knew what he was going for. And his father had that version of a kid and play flat top. Do you remember brothers hair?
I had that hair. I don't know what you talking about. It wasn't outward like
That
that.
flat top, it was like an inverted triangle.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
was crazy.
I had a flat
Um,
top in the 90s. I know all about that. Yeah.
yeah. So yeah, so that whole interaction left me like, what is going on? But only thing that I say is that at the end of the movie, I know he lives, right?
Right.
So so that I
Now
wonder how
I didn't
hysterical I
realize.
would have been had that first scene not happened. Like if they had say started with smoke and stack. If we're writers, right? If the script had started with smoke and stack, picking him up or not even pick. Well, I guess you would know
Right.
you don't see him coming back from the battle, is what I'm saying.
The beginning with Sam Moore's character, I didn't know where Ryan Coogler was going by introducing him first. I came into the
Yeah,
movie thinking that it was going to be about Smoke and Stack, where we largely do
right,
get to view things from Smoke and Stack's perspective, but
right,
there's also that third perspective of Sam Moore's perspective,
right.
and
Preacher boy.
right, and everything, how everything comes full circle. But yeah, I wasn't
I mean,
expecting it
it
to
was
be
Preacher Boy's story, right? It was
right.
Preacher Boy's story.
We get Sam Moore's perspective, and then it drops off, and we get Smoke and Stack's perspective, and then it comes back to Sam Moore um, again.
Yeah,
And so
yeah.
I didn't know that going into the movie that that's how it was going to play out, but I like the fact that he chose to do that. And then before even going to see the movie, they had released several clips, several trailers and previews showcasing certain parts of the film. And there's a lot of people that I saw online that were complaining, saying, he's giving the whole movie away. He's telling all of the story. Now I know what the story is about.
Did you see them? Did it spoil it for you?
So it didn't. At first, I thought it was going to spoil it for me, but it ended up not
Hmm.
spoiling it for me. Once I watched the movie, now that I've seen it, I realized that they gave just enough to reel people in, to want to come and see the movie. And so it didn't fully give the movie away. It did, tell people that, okay, this is a vampire flick, but I don't think that people realized it was also going to be, what it was with the period piece. I mean, obviously it's set in a certain time, but all of the Jim Crow visuals, the knowledge and things that are going on throughout the film, I don't think that people thought they were going to get that much creativity on top of telling the
Right,
story. Yeah,
right, right. There was so much um, historical world building,
right,
right? It
right,
was this period of time that I don't watch a lot of slave narrative stories, and even this period of time post slavery. Um, and the little nods to certain things, like
mhm,
the chain gang,
yeah,
which is, the 13th Amendment, in the common, the 13th Amendment that allows people that are in prison to sort of ostensibly still be slaves. And like, there was a
right,
reason that crew of people were on the side of the road. Like he wasn't, it's just not arbitrary, right?
right.
Um, and it was interesting that he talked about plantation dollars. I don't think I've ever seen that in a movie.
No, the plantation dollars, the wooden nickels. I was
I
surprised.
don't think
Yeah,
I've ever seen it. I don't think I've ever seen it. And I loved that, and I loved, I walked away feeling like, wow, he's showing how we will find joy in the things that are ours, in the
yeah,
music, in the family.
mhm.
Let's talk about the characters now. And you're probably better at the names than I am. So
Yeah. We got Sam
okay,
Moore. Then we got Smoke Stack.
yes, yeah,
Perline was the young lady that was married that Sam Moore fell in love with. Um,
yeah,
I don't remember Haley's character's name. Haley
Mary,
Haley
Mary.
Steinfeld. Was it Mary?
Yeah,
I
she
think
was
yeah.
Mary. Yeah, she was Mary. Yeah.
Um, and then of course we have Delroy Lindo and
Okay, top marks. He got the. My man said, "You know what? Let's do this today."
yeah,
Delroy Lind. He was taking everybody to school.
yeah,
He
absolutely.
took
And
everybody to school. He's like, "Let me explain to you how to do this from the floor up."
I feel like they don't give him enough credit. Like I
Oh
don't
no,
think that
yeah.
he's got enough kudos, enough credit, enough flowers for his contribution to acting
Oh,
as a whole.
it
That
remind
man,
this movie. That man can act.
yeah,
There was a movie he was in, and I can't remember. It was with
Spike Lee,
Jim.
Five Brothers,
No, no, it was with Jimmy Smits about Santeria,
Santeria.
and he played. Yeah, hold on, I'm gonna look it up. Okay, keep going through the characters, and I'm gonna look it up. Okay.
And then I also liked I don't remember their names, but I like the Asian couple. I'm glad that they
Oh, they were
actually
great. Yeah,
had
yeah, they were
Asian
great. But
representation in the film.
and you know what? It was factual because people
Yes,
of Asian descent, Chinese people, were in America
right.
doing that at that time. That wasn't diversity casting. That was actual
Right.
factual. Same thing like with the Irish Americans. People were there.
Yes.
Um,
Yes. And
hold on,
The
Delroy Lindo.
Choctaw
Okay, so
Indian,
let's see if I can
you
find it.
know.
But oh yeah, well, hello, the originals. Um,
Exactly. Exactly. I thought that was brilliant that he incorporated all of that. And then not only that, I don't know if this is where his mind was going, but in my mind, I felt there was a little symbolism there.
tell me why.
Where the Indians are, they arrive, and they're forewarning the white couple, saying that
Right there.
there's trouble coming, and there's evil among us. I don't know if he necessarily meant evil in a certain way, but um, I personally took it as that, as maybe that's the hidden messaging that he was trying to relay in that particular moment. Um, and I felt that it was interesting is that the natives came to warn the settlers, like, hey, you guys don't want no parts of this. Um,
Yeah,
and
and they
it
also
just
didn't
goes,
have
it just goes
fear.
back to
They didn't.
yeah, it
They
just goes back to the history of things, as to I'm sure that these things occurred during that time.
Yeah, and they would have if you take the story to be what it is in the real world, right? So that the
Right,
Native Americans would have been there or known about these creatures already,
right,
and they would have been chasing them, right?
yeah,
And
hmm
yeah, that's wonderful. I didn't even think of that. I loved
hmm
that. But oh, you know what? I don't know how I couldn't remember. He was in my Keanu Reeves is one of my favorites, and he was in Devil's Advocate. Delroy Lindo was in Devil's Advocate, and he played
yeah,
a priest of sorts, and then at one point the priest gets a voodoo hex on him and is almost like paralyzed. And I remember watching that movie and going, "Oh my God, this man is amazing!" And then now come here to 2025, and he just keeps bringing it. He
right,
was just marvelous. He
yeah,
was just
yeah.
marvelous. I was so impressed with him. All right, keep going to who else in the cast was there that
And then
there.
he's in a lot of movies as well. His real name is Omar, but they called him Cornbread in the movie.
Oh
Um,
yes, yeah, he was
I
great.
love him, and in all of the movies that he's in, I love his character. I feel like he doesn't also get enough shine, because he's done a lot, throughout his career as well. I love that Ryan chose him as a character, and I'm glad that he is able to get this spotlight. He's in a lot of movies, and I feel like he hasn't gotten enough shine throughout his career.
Yeah,
So, and he played Cornbread well, man. He does.
he was great. He was
Yeah.
great. All right, so if we think about the characters, I also thought there was a lot of symbolism in the Mary character
hmm
as the white woman. I mean, she's passing, right? But
Yeah.
um, being the first of the crew to be turned. And what struck me about that was it was her hubris. It was her
Yeah.
thinking that she could just go up to the white people and it would be safe,
Yeah.
right? She just
Yeah.
assumed that it would be safe, right?
hmm
And and then of course that was the start of it all.
and
That was
and
the
she
start of it
right
all.
she to be honest with you, she became their Trojan horse. She was their entryway.
She became
She
what?
was their Trojan horse. Back in history, the Romans used the Trojan horse.
Oh, oh, wait a minute. No, wait. She became the Trojan horse. Yes, I thought you
Yes.
were saying she became like the white. She became like Death, and Death appeared on a white horse. That's because she
No,
was wearing
no,
all white.
no. She
No.
became the Trojan horse. She was the entry point
Yes.
for them. At least that's what their thought was, is that she was going to
Yes.
come in
I
and then
love that. I didn't even think of
yeah.
that.
So it wasn't until later that somebody else. I will save that point till when we get there, but somebody else was actually the person that let them in.
Okay, what did you think of the introduction to Smoke and Stack? I still don't
I
know
thought,
which is which, quite frankly.
so Smoke is the character in blue. Stack is the
So
character in
Smoke
red.
was the man who had the baby, and so the character in red was Stack.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
See, I thought it was the other way around. I thought he brings the smoke, so Smoke must be the one that was in red. Obviously, I was
No.
wrong.
Yeah.
Okay.
No. So
Okay.
Smoke.
I didn't
Smoke
even
was.
care.
It's all right. Smoke
I
was a
did.
character.
I did.
Smoke was a character in blue, and throughout the entire film, he stood on business. He was straight to the point. He was all about sticking to the script. Don't fold for nobody. That was his MO. And then Stack is a little more fluid and lenient, easygoing,
He
like,
pivots. He can pivot.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And there was weaknesses there, and Smoke didn't have
Yeah.
any of those weaknesses. Um,
I think, see, so I felt that they were like yin yang. I didn't think one had weaknesses at all. I thought they were stronger together,
yeah,
right?
absolutely,
And
right.
I thought that was interesting. I loved the performance that Michael B. Jordan gave. I felt those were two separate people. I
Hmm.
saw the director and the CGI department flex their muscles at the top when they introduce him and they're passing that cigarette. I watch a lot of
Right.
Corridor Crew, right? And I know that
Yeah,
was the moment when and I was like, oh, I see you flexing.
yeah. When they passed the
Um,
cigarette,
I was
when
like,
they
that was
gave the
tight. Yeah,
yeah, when they
yeah.
gave the five and the hug.
That was very. I knew it. I was like, that's very. I like that you're giving us, And if we just may say, the team that did all the special effects and did all the makeup, outrageously good,
Yeah,
right? The
excellent.
gore makeup was
Yeah,
beautiful,
yes, yeah,
beautiful gore. I was really impressed with that gore makeup, like the facial rips and the gaps and the bites and
yeah.
slashes,
Mm.
beautiful. I mean, you know what I'm saying. And I was I really felt that he was able to establish, two separate people, two separate distinct people.
Mhm.
But also I loved like when Stack in the red, right,
Yes.
went to
Uh-huh.
the grocery store and first of all told the little girl
No, that was
money's always
Smoke. That was Smoke.
no, was
That was
it?
Smoke. Stack was the guy. He was the one that was with Sam and told Sam to play the game.
Oh, okay, okay. See.
Yeah.
All right. Forgive me. Forgive me. I will
No
not. Okay.
worries.
So
No worries.
okay. So I just know what I liked, and I liked that scene because I
Yeah.
loved like the idea that he's always like looking out for his people, teaching them a little
Hmm.
something. Right. He
Right.
was to the little girl. He's like, money's always negotiating. Ask for this, and he did the little negotiating thing with
Yeah.
her.
He was
And
all
then
about
when
business.
he was all
Yeah.
and um and then when he even negotiated with the Chinese couple, with the
Hmm.
wife,
Hmm.
and it was just great. I loved that, always standing on business. you know
Yep.
Here's a question for you. So we missed a scene when they buy the property, right, from the Klansmen.
Right.
Okay,
Hmm.
great scene. Immediately furious.
Right.
I was cursing in the movie theater. I was like,
Right. Because
motherfucker, because
that still happens to this day, where they like,
yes,
how can you even afford something like this?
yes, right,
Hmm.
okay, and also, I'm sitting there going, thinking that this is what the movie's about because I don't know about the vampires, right? I'm
Right.
thinking, oh God, I'm gonna be so uncomfortable. I'm gonna walk out of here with such anger.
Yeah.
And um, here was my question though. These are two very smart men, and I'm thinking, why don't they know they're gonna come and kill them and take this back? They're never going. This this Klansman, or whether they think he's a Klansman or not, because they're like, "Don't let me see none of your Klan." I don't know whether they know. They don't really identify it.
Yeah.
Because I knew they were coming back,
Right. There was a
right?
reason why they were. Yeah, they were. There was a reason why they were in the beginning of the story. Yes, absolutely.
So I sort of thought to myself, well, maybe like I would have liked one little beat, one little like beat somewhere in the movie where one of them says something like, "We got something for them when they come back," or we're only doing this for this weekend anyway. So because I was like, what is the purpose, right? Like, so where they're running from Chicago,
Right.
we are led to believe they stole wine, they stole beer, right?
Hmm.
From mobsters. Okay, I don't know if people would be chasing them because I mean it's just beer and wine. I don't know. I can't say because I can't say whether or not that would really be something Al Capone, if they really even indeed work for Al Capone. We don't know, but
Right.
how did they think they were going to make money? Because they even complained about it later in the movie. They were like, "We're only getting plantation dollars, right?"
Yeah.
So this
So
was a smart team, but
yeah.
what was the gig? How was the gig going to make money?
So those are good
That's what I was
questions.
thinking.
Yeah, those are good questions. I'll start from the beginning when the Klansman was selling them the the
The barn or
sawmill.
whatever.
He called
Right, the
they
sawmill.
sawmill.
Yeah, yeah. Ugh.
When we later find out that it wasn't a sawmill, it was a
It was a
slaughterhouse.
slaughterhouse, right,
And
of black
one
people.
thing, right, and one thing that alludes to that later in the film, or not later in the film,
Oh,
but
it's
when
when he
they
says
were
sticky.
yeah, when he went to touch the floor and he felt it, and
Yeah.
he was like,
If you've ever
did you
touched blood, it has a very specific viscosity. Yes.
yeah, and he said like it's something like, "Did you clean these floors or something?" And he said, "Yeah, we cleaned them." You know, um, it's almost like the trickery was already there.
Yeah.
And
But
I
like
think they,
but like yeah,
I think
yeah,
they, I
but
think they felt like they were being swindled a little bit, but because they already had the thought in their head that they were going to start this juke joint. They had a dream. They wanted to be able to fulfill the dream, and this is the one person that is willing to sell them this place. They look past that.
yeah, so they gave up. They put on rose-colored glasses
Yeah.
for the chance to bring this bounty to their community, right?
And in a way, it's a deal with the devil.
It is exactly that.
Yeah.
Because sure as anything, that guy was coming back. Well, I mean, they told you the
Yes.
vampire told them, but I mean, I didn't
Mhm.
need the vampire to tell me. I was like,
Right.
no, no, sir, no, sir.
Yeah.
Because I was immediately like, kill him, kill him, kill him, because they're gonna come and kill you anyway. Kill it, take one out, right?
Hmm.
Um, so okay, so they pick up Preacher Boy and they go in that. Now there were a lot of driving scenes. I was like, can we have
Right.
another location? But okay. Um,
Yeah.
so we have the first driving scene, and
Hmm.
we hear Preacher Boy sing for the first time and play for the first time, and that was something.
Yeah.
Wasn't that
I,
something? That was something.
and I just want to throw out there, I've learned since watching this movie,
Yeah.
the actor's name is Miles Caton. This is Miles Caton's first ever role, ever. And yeah, before this, I think he's gone on tours for singing, and played backup for her and some other R&B
Wow.
acts.
Okay,
But this
so
is his first
he has
acting
it.
role.
He can act.
Yeah.
He is an
Yes.
actor. Yeah, he is. He was spectacular. I would have never believed that. I'm gonna say it. He
Yeah.
was better than Michael B. Jordan. He was better than Michael B.
You,
Michael B. Jordan was
you
great,
think so?
but
Yeah.
this
I
kid was
I think
better.
so. Right. I think
Yeah,
I
he
think
was
they I
better.
think all of the actors casted
Yeah,
played their
were
roles to a
fantastic.
T.
Yeah,
Yeah, they played their
but
roles
there was
to a T.
something so yeah, there was something so natural about that kid. I don't know if he'll be
Yeah.
able to do it again in another type of role. This was very close to who he was inside a lot about musical and so he could
Right.
get it. But there are a lot of actors that'll get a role and not be able to then really take on other characters. All right, so the
Yeah.
car. So we hear the music for the first time, and what I loved about that moment was Stack, Smoke.
Hmm.
Which one was it? Which one was it in the car with him?
Stack.
Okay,
Stack.
Stack. Um, he had the reaction we all did. Damn, you know what I mean? Like he had that
Right,
reaction. Everybody in the theater was like, "Damn!" You know, it was just
right,
crazy.
yeah.
Which I
But he
love
was
when there's
looking,
a
but
character
he
that
was also looking at him as dollar
for
signs.
money.
He was
Yes,
like,
of
yeah, he was
course.
like,
I
"Oh, we're
got
gonna make
it.
some money tonight."
We're
Yeah,
gonna make money tonight, right? So, but I got that. But I mean, like he also like there was a surrogate for us, you know,
yeah, yes.
because it was so beautiful. And then we get the scene at the train station when they're assembling the team, right? They're assembling the
Right,
team in
yeah.
script thought.
Mhm.
And again, we get the happy Negroes playing music at the train station. I was like, okay, but all right, I understand what you're doing, sir. I get it. All right. I really do understand it, but I bump up against it sometimes. But I also love this little beat that he had where Stack,
Mhm, mhm.
okay, threw a little money in the cup, right?
Yeah,
It was just a little tiny moment, and I loved it because it showed that he's just giving it to his people, you know.
exactly. Supporting,
He's
yes.
just giving, yeah, and even he did that when he shot the guy in the butt and the knee. He taught them the lesson,
So
but
that
then he
that
threw
was
them.
smoke. That was smoke.
I cannot believe this.
Yeah,
Okay, well, both of them did, but
this is when they split
this is
off,
when they
and
split, right? Yeah. I
Smoke went into town, and Stack went to the train station.
Okay. So you just
Yeah,
gonna have to understand. You're gonna have to keep me tight because you know what I'm saying.
yeah.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't know which one lived. Okay, don't judge. Okay,
Okay, no, I got you.
okay.
I got
But I know the one that was sleeping with Mary became the vampire. I know. I
you.
just don't remember. Okay, so all right. So we didn't talk about the scene with the shooting of the butt and the
Yeah,
knee. I thought that was
right.
great. You just knew who he
Yeah,
was, and I love that he shot him in the knee. I love
yeah.
that he was like, "You
Didn't
ain't
kill
getting
him,
out of here without a yeah. You ain't
but right. But he sent a
right."
message. Yeah, he
Consequences,
yes.
consequences, right?
Like I said,
I
he stood
loved
on
that.
business the whole movie.
I loved
It
it.
was all
And
about
but right, and
yeah,
then he took care of it. He's like, "Here's some money. Take care of him." Right.
right, right.
Um. So, all right. So now we're assembling the team, and we meet Delroy. I don't remember.
Mhm.
I called him Keys in my head. I don't know what his name was.
Oh
Should we look
man,
it up? We can look it up. What did
yeah.
you? Were you as mesmerized by him?
Yes, I mean, just from the jump, even the subtleness in his acting when they arrive, Stack puts the money in his I don't know if it was a can or
With a
it
cup
was
or
his
a
hat.
hat?
Yeah, something like that. But he gives him his money, and
Delta
then
Slim. Delta Slim.
Delta Slim. Delta
Hmm.
Slim looks up. He looks up slightly, and he was like surprised that he saw Stack back in town. Like, what are you doing
Yeah.
back? And Stack is like, we're back for a reason. We got this juke joint we're trying to open. We want you to play at this juke joint. And he was like, I can't do it. I'm at this other club every Saturday, and this club is going to stick around. They're consistent. They're reliable. They pay me.
It was
And,
great. It was logic.
right, yeah. And I don't
It
know
was
about your juke
long
joint.
term.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I don't know about your juke joint, but without saying, he's like, I know your history. Who's to say that you're gonna
Yeah.
be here today and gone tomorrow? So
Well,
I
you
don't
know
trust
what? He then replied to him by saying, "Well, just this weekend." So I'm wondering now. You know how a couple minutes ago we were talking about because I was like, "What are they thinking they're going to do? They're going to buy this land off." They didn't just like rent it; they bought the land.
you.
I'm
Yeah,
sorry, clan ain't going to let that happen. Okay,
no,
so
no, not
maybe
that
they really
time.
just right. Maybe they just thought, we're just going. This is our last hurrah. We just stole from mob in Kansas or in Chicago. Maybe we just gonna blow it because they were throwing the money around too. So maybe they just thought, let's just like have a party.
But
Maybe this was
right,
Custer's
but
last chance.
not only that, like true hustlers would, they would wash that money, right? They would rinse that money,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
turn it into
yeah,
a legal establishment. Try to find a way to
yeah.
take illegal money and turn it into legal money. That in my mind, that's what I took from it is they had the hustlers mindset,
You think they were
and they were
washing it? Okay,
yeah, or either that or just trying to take something that they did bad and bring it back home and
and
turn
give
it
it
into
back.
something. Yeah.
Right, because they had that
Um,
line. There was that great line where they're like, you can go there, but it's just another version of whatever hell you think you were in before. I can't remember the line, but
Right.
I got that, and then they came home, right? Better
Yeah.
the devil you know. Someone literally said it, but the devil you know. Okay, so now he meets Mary. No, this Mary, and then what
Hmm.
was the other girl's name? Perline. I loved Perline. So we meet Perline,
Yes.
who first of all, like I said earlier, the way he shoots black skin is so beautiful. Um,
Hmm.
it's just so wonderful to see, right? Someone who
Yeah.
actually understands how the light works um and it's just gorgeous, 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 gorgeous. So I thought they were not typical interactions with women. As a woman, I'm watching it going, of course, you're sexualizing the black woman again. Okay, all right, but she's beautiful, she's sexy. Okay, that's okay. Um,
Hmm.
you know, and I thought Mary was I thought she was intriguing. I thought that was an intriguing character in the sense that how they met, she wasn't just,
A
the
fling.
pretty white girl that he, that it wasn't that sort of trope. You know what I mean? Like they had grown up together because the I think they killed their father, right? He didn't die of you didn't kill
Mm.
your father. No, he died of the smoke. Remember? He said he died of
Oh,
smoke. So he said
yeah.
he died of smoke, and I was like, oh, they lit that house on fire because he was a violent man. I just told the story in my head. Um,
Right. Right.
and
I didn't pick
right,
up on that. Yeah.
yeah. So and then Mary's mother took him and smoke in or stack in, and um, and so they grew up together. So I liked that backstory. It felt more believable.
Hmm.
Um, how they would have interacted and had such an intense relationship. I I really liked that. But now let's segue to okay. Other one thing about Perline. We sure Perline was married because is that how a married woman behaved? She
Right.
just meets her brother at the train station and she's at the club.
So right. So at first, it's Sam that's infatuated with Perline, and Perline
Yeah,
is she's taking in his advances because it's I feel in my mind I feel that it is flattering, so she's accepting
right,
of his advances.
right. But she
But
showed up at
she
the club.
Yes, but before she showed up at the club, she said, "I'm married," and then he says, "Well, I hope to see you there." But she never.
No,
She looks back, doesn't answer.
he said happily. Didn't he say
True.
happily?
Yes, he did. He
Yeah,
did say that too. But
yeah.
as she's walking off, he says, "I hope to see you there," and she looks back at him, but
Hmm.
doesn't respond. And then later, she does show up at the club, meaning, meaning that she was interested. But I think she became interested once she heard him
For sure.
play
She's a
play
singer.
at
You
the
know
train
what?
station.
You know what? The penny just dropped for me.
Yeah, so that's what
It was
that
about
was
her career.
there.
It was
Yeah, so
about her
that's what
singing.
yeah,
It
that's
just
what
dropped.
pulled her in.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it was, but because for me, it's about why is this character doing this? I'm always asking myself that question. And I just realized she was a singer. I just realized it. Of course, she's going to go to the club,
Yes. Yeah.
I mean, to the juke joint, All right. So
Right.
now let's go to what was her, did we get the character's name?
Annie. Her name
Uh,
is Annie.
Annie, right. Um,
Annie. Hmm.
it was just such a non-stereotypical way of playing that role and writing that role. It was loving and real and beautiful and sexy,
Yeah.
right? Um, I was so impressed with that scene because I didn't know where it
Mhm.
was going,
Right.
right? I didn't
Yeah.
know what was happening. You know, when they could, I wish they had stayed on that shot like just 3 seconds more. There was a shot of the grave with the little
Right.
rock and the little. I didn't catch it. I didn't get what it was. I knew it was a grave, but I didn't understand it was a child. And
Yeah.
then
I
later
don't
in
know
the
what
scene,
that.
she mentioned it was
Yeah.
milk. They cut back to it later. I thought it was milk. It was a
Oh.
bottle of milk.
I wonder what that symbolizes. What that
I
means.
feel like the baby need milk. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe that was something that people did. I don't know. But I thought it was I thought it was beautiful. I
Hmm.
thought it was, and it was also like they lost a child. You understand why he might have left. You
Right.
know, I got the impression that the other brother would have been like, "Let's go to Chicago and let's get mix it up," and he lost a kid. And he was like, I'm gonna run away from my problems. I'm gonna run away from this pain.
Yeah.
And
I can
she
see
was
that.
fucking, yeah. And she was, how do you know my prayers weren't the thing that kept, I was like, you better
Oh,
write a script. Like, I
right.
saw, I was like, you better write. It was so
Mm,
original, just the way she it was able to express that, and you still carrying my little the bag. I can't remember what it's called. You know, and
right.
like I said, that the language of like, you don't first know that she's I forget they call it hoodoo woman. What do they call it? Like
Hoodoo, or yeah, hoodoo, I
hoodoo
believe.
woman. Yeah, and
Yeah.
you don't know at first. You just think she's maybe a medicine woman, but
Right.
not someone that's also because there were people that would take care of sick
The
people,
community.
but they're not necessarily somebody who threw bones. Oh, she was fantastic. The sex scene was
Yeah.
delicious. I loved that she was like busty and like
Mm,
she was fantastic. What did you think of
yeah.
it?
I thought it was great too. Initially, when he arrived at the house, I didn't know. I had a sense that this was a family home, or that he was stopping off to see family. I did
Hmm.
not realize initially that they were together
Yeah, me
until
neither.
I thought maybe they might have been brother and sister, or or
Hmm.
like some other relation to the family. I didn't know what their relation was at first, but then once I came to that realization, I said, "Oh, okay, I see." And it also shows the the difference between Smoke and Stack. He likes Smoke likes the stability, the home, the nurturing, the caring. Where Stack is more, I'm in these streets. I'm in and out of people's houses.
Yeah, I'm in
I'm
and out of people's beds. He is. They are the opposite. They are yin yang. They
yeah,
are
yeah,
two sides of a coin.
right. But
And
it lends more to Smoke's personality, who he is, how grounded he is, and
yeah.
why he's grounded, because he has a strong woman behind him. You
Oh,
know,
she was wonderful.
yeah. So once I came to that realization, I liked. I mean, I loved her character through and through anyway, and I think she's a great actress to begin with. But yeah, I thought their dynamic was great.
You
For
know what I
sure.
loved about her too? She became more attractive to me. Like
Hmm.
she looked more and more beautiful as the movie went on, as she became more interesting and more deep. It's like how you fall in love with a person to me. When you
Yeah.
first meet somebody, they can be, nice looking, but they look more and more beautiful as you fall in love with them, right?
Right.
Just like
Right.
somebody beautiful can be an asshole, and I'm like, you just make me not want to even look at your
Exactly.
face, you know?
Exactly.
Yeah, she
Yeah.
was amazing. Am I missing anything before we get back to the back to we
So
get to the joint?
I don't think we're missing anything. I do want to throw one little tidbit out there,
Okay.
and this is in no way, shape, or form disrespect to Ryan Coogler or
Of course not.
his
We both loved
writing
it.
or anything, but
Yes.
what I also could visually see, it reminded me of, is one of my favorite shows of all time, is Lovecraft Country, and
Mm-hmm.
one me was actually an actress in Lovecraft Country.
Ah,
Um, yeah,
okay.
and so some of the vibe of this film kind of gave me hints of Lovecraft Country.
Yes,
I don't know if you saw that, but
I did
that's
not.
one. Oh, you got to
Okay, you know
go.
what? So I'll
You
check it
get a
out.
chance, you got to watch Lovecraft Country
Okay,
for
I
sure.
will check it out. There's so much to watch, so forgive me for
Yes,
not having seen it. But
yeah.
um, you know, uh, yeah, I could see. I'm looking at the poster here. I could see that the colors, the imagery, um, is giving the same. He didn't make this though, right? Who did this? Hold on. I'm on
Which one?
IMDb.
Uh, you talking about
Lovecraft.
Lovecraft Country?
Hmm.
That is Misha Green. Misha Green is she was the writer, and I want to say the director for Lovecraft Country. Um,
If we're
and
wrong, cut it out. If we're wrong, cut it out.
there was only one season of it. Fans
Hmm.
demanded a second season. It was in the it was in talks, it was in the works, but then HBO cut it. But I think this it also lends to how powerful the messaging and how powerful, like there was a lot of metaphors, a lot of it was a period piece as well, and but it also dealt with it was in the Jim Crow era, but it also dealt with like vampirism and spirits and things of that nature. Um,
Yeah. Oh, okay.
so
I'll check it.
yeah, I think you would really enjoy it. There's a lot of truth telling in it as well.
Yeah.
It's kind of mixed in it, so I think that's why it gives me that sense with this film, and I'm glad that Ryan was able to bring this to life, especially on on the grand stage, because it's able to tell parts of these stories, parts of our history worldwide, opposed to it
Yeah.
just being nationwide or one season or maybe a few seasons and then that's it. You know?
Yeah. I will check it out and then we'll have to talk about it. So,
Yeah, yeah, it's really good.
how did you feel during the sex scene? Did you feel like that it was did it feel true? Did it make you feel uncomfortable? I haven't seen a sex scene in a movie in I don't know how long.
I felt like it was natural. It was clean.
Mhm.
It was I want to say it was a little, even though it's obviously it's a sex scene. I feel like it's a little more wholesome compared to a dirty sex
Yeah.
scene or anything like that.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
I,
as a black woman, I'm
I
always
think
concerned when they over sexualize us, you
yeah,
know. So
but I
I
think it
thought
just lends to the fact of like I missed you. I was on the road and I missed you.
yes, that's what I felt.
Yeah,
I felt like a married couple.
right.
It felt like a
Yes.
married couple, like just knowing each other, knowing each other's bodies and ways, you know, and it felt
Mm-hmm.
connected. They felt I don't mean like physically and sexually. I mean like felt connected
Right.
emotionally, spiritually.
Right. And to your point, it
Yeah.
was them getting reconnected since he had been
Yeah.
gone. Yeah.
Yeah, I loved it.
Mm,
I loved it. Okay, so I think now they assemble, right?
mm,
And the
mhm,
party started, right? And I don't really remember much about the party other than the high beats. So,
mhm.
when Preacher Boy starts playing, let's just talk about the scene that I don't think I've ever seen anything like that in my life.
Never, never.
Never.
And and I wasn't expecting that.
Neither was
And
I.
when it happened, at first I'm like, okay, I can see there's probably going to be like little iterations, but as it continued to go
Took it
on,
fully to 10.
oh
He
yeah,
took it
absolutely,
when the
absolutely,
B-boys were there, the but not just with the dancers, right?
yeah,
With the
yeah,
gambling and then the casino table.
yeah. He brought everything to life, and
I was like, this
it showed where where the music derives from, but not
and
just
where
in
it's
the
going.
right, not just in from blues, but a lot of things do derive from blues. But before blues, there were other ways of uh, you know music and storytelling and
Sure.
uh, showcasing culture and the pride of your culture and the representation. And he didn't just stick with just black culture. There was also
No.
Spanish.
Yes.
There was, you
The
know,
Asian, the Chinese dancer.
yes, yeah,
It was
yeah,
beautiful.
it
It was
was,
beautiful.
and
It was beautiful.
it was unbelievable to watch. But the fact that he was able to,
Was that
in a
a
way,
oneer? Did you notice if it was a one shot? Was it a one shot? I'm gonna have to go back to this movie. Well,
I
I
don't
don't know.
remember if it was a
I don't
one shot
remember.
or
I
not.
have to go back.
But
I have to go
they did
back.
do a 360 almost.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but I want to say how I viewed it is almost like, and this is how I described it when I did my initial review, is almost like he transcended space and time and brought all of those cultures and sounds together to demonstrate where it all derives from and how
Yes,
how much we're also interconnected and don't realize it.
yes, yeah.
You
I
know,
agree. Yeah,
so
I felt
when I
that
saw that, I was mind blown.
yeah, I thought
Mhm,
that was the thesis of the movie, right?
mhm,
I felt like there were two themes that ran through it. What does it mean to be free? Was one of them,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
and I thought the other one was the connection. What connects us? And I felt like
Right.
when he, when he brotherhood, love, family, right, and music, and
Yeah.
at its very core, right, culture, what connects us, and it just showed to me like that throughout time and throughout dimensions,
Hmm. Hmm.
this music was a thread and it just pulled through, you know. And that made me actually like the beginning of the movie. Remember I said when I first started it was like I was like voiceover, but then I was like, oh,
Yeah.
I understand, you know.
Yeah.
And I loved it then. Now, but I'm like that in the movies. I get real like, you know.
Yeah.
And I also, there was a lot of balls in the air. No pun intended. I'm not trying to be funny about that. Like there was a lot of story going on, right? There
It
was
was.
cornbread at the front door. There was
Hmm.
um, what's his name, Delta Slim, doing his
Playing the
thing. There
piano.
was right. There was Preacher Boy trying to get in the girl's pants.
Yeah.
A lot of sex talk, which was funny, and then that paid off at the end with the oral sex and the thing,
Yeah.
right?
The ice.
That
The
that
ice
woman,
cream. The
that
ice
woman
cream.
wasn't married. That woman was not married. No,
No. No, but
no,
it was also, the heat of the night, the juke
yeah,
joint, the sweaty
no,
skin, all of that,
yeah,
that it
yeah.
all played into it.
Okay. Um, and so I was like, "Girl, go home to your man."
Yeah.
And okay, so all that's going on, and it's a scene, it's a party. It looked like a place you wanted to be, which was just
Yeah,
great.
absolutely.
But I I,
It
I
it
was
it
watching
it was
it.
an ode, just before we skip ahead, it was an ode to
Yeah.
the Good Times poster. The Good Times painting, I'm sorry. The
Did
Good
you
Times
know that?
painting?
Did he say that? Yes, I know
I
what
didn't
painting you're
know.
talking about.
I didn't know it until after the fact. But after you see the movie, you see other
Of
people's
course
reviews,
it was.
and not only that, they released the poster of that particular scene after the movie had released. So that got people talking after the fact, as to how it was also an ode and a nod to the Good Times
Yes,
painting,
of
famous Good
course
Times
it
painting.
was.
By the
I know
way, is
exactly.
owned
I know what you're talking
by the
about.
way, is owned by Eddie Murphy right now.
Good for
People don't
him.
know that. Yeah,
Good for Eddie Murphy. Yeah.
yeah,
Um. Yeah. Wow, that kind of blew my mind. That's very
yeah.
cool.
And
Um.
nobody had since then, or ever, nobody's been able to pull that off or encapsulate that
No,
scene,
I've
that
never seen
vibe.
anything like that in my life. I've never seen anything like that in my life. I've seen, like um raves and club scenes, but
Hmm. Not like that.
remember, no, not like that. Remember the Matrix? Matrix, I think Matrix 2. They
Hmm.
had Zion, they had the dance scene, there was this
Right.
like
Yeah.
that was sort of more guttural and more visceral and more sort of like the end of the world party dance. But this felt like what I imagined when I would go to New Orleans or somewhere and I just roll up on to a
Right.
spot. You know what I mean? It was beautiful. Everything about that was good. That set was great. All
It
the different
was.
locations, right? All the different locations, all the wonderful set piece, and then all the different locations that we were able to keep track of as an audience, right? The back
Hmm.
room where the sex happens, and then the back room where the poker's playing, and then
That's
the
brilliant.
dance hall.
That's
Like it was
brilliant.
just great.
Yeah, it's brilliant within itself because you have a contained space, but
Oh yeah, that's
being that it
great.
was such
Yeah,
a contained space, but he gave space within space. He
yeah,
gave air to
yeah.
the room, and as you move around, there's upstairs, there's the back
Yes,
room,
yes,
there,
yes.
yeah, there's the
It
the
was
gambling
great.
is going on behind the bar.
Yeah,
Um, all of that takes place in one central contained space, but it doesn't feel like it's in one space. And then obviously you also have what's happening outside. You
outside.
know,
Right.
yeah,
Which is always the thing.
right,
The danger is always outside the door,
yeah,
right? Just outside the door. Now,
yeah,
so there are other things that happen in the club and all that, but I think that this was the moment in the movie when I was like, thank God. it started with Preacher Boy coming back alive because I couldn't take it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I was like, at least I know Preacher Boy is going to live.
Mhm.
And when they show up and the white
Yeah. I got a good take for
vampires.
this.
Okay, okay. I don't have a take.
I
I
do.
have I was I thought it was played. Let me just say how it was played. It was so eerie. Like it
Mm.
wasn't played like a normal like vampire movies, I've
Oh,
seen in the past. The energy was so weird and great, and that song about picking the meat off the bone. I was like, y'all hear what the singing? Do you hear
yeah.
But
Yeah.
you tell me your take, and then I will probably gain a take from that. You tell me what you thought.
So I viewed it as a metaphor
Of course,
for even in today's time where our culture is sucked out of us, and they actively want to participate. They came a knocking because they heard
the
the sultry
music,
sounds. They heard the music and the
right,
voice of
right. Well,
of
he
and
said, I want all of your gift." Right? He wanted his gift. He said
and
it.
what does this sound like?
Right. You can't get on TikTok without seeing our dances bouncing around.
It's just
Um,
the culture is being ripped from us, like,
Appropriated. Yeah.
yes, appropriated. And I took it as a metaphor of that. And then they also wanted to be able to showcase, well, we can do it too. We also like to we love your music. We also like to make music ourselves. But obviously their music, even though it had a little, gist to it,
Yeah, it
um
was something. It was
but it
something
didn't
he was
have
doing.
the flavor, it didn't have the oomph.
It didn't have
And
the adobo. It didn't have the seasoning. It didn't have the jerk sauce.
didn't have
Right.
there you go. There you go.
Right.
And so
Um.
I felt like that's what they were missing. But they wanted to
Yeah.
participate. They wanted to be a part of the culture and the
It's
community.
very
And
much to the day that.
it's us saying no.
uh,
Like
Yeah, I love
this is
that.
ours.
Nah,
Yeah.
nah, it's
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
But here's the part. Now, here's where it gets real tricky with Mary. So, okay, so they set up that it's plantation dollars mostly, and they're not going to make money. So, oh no, Mary, this is where her one drop of Dooya didn't come into kick into play because
Yeah.
Mary thought because she's white, she can go and talk to them and make it better. Like I think and
Yeah.
it was so it was such a real because had Mary been a black girl, she wasn't going back. She wasn't going out there
Right.
to ask them for anything,
No,
right?
especially not alone. Yeah, no.
No,
Mm-mm.
no. But that she sashayed herself out into the darkness
Yeah.
to sit down and talk to them and yada yada.
She got comfortable too quick.
But
Too
it's that thing where she thought it was her privilege. It
right.
was her privilege.
Yeah.
Her
Yeah.
privilege and her hubris,
And it and it and
right?
it it
And
and
it
it
took the
bitter.
whole house
Yeah, it bit her in the ass.
literally,
It bit
literally bitter in the
Yeah,
back.
yeah.
So she brings it back. Did we
Mhm.
have a scene where she had to be invited in? I don't remember that.
Yes, but because Cornbread was distracted and he had to go pee, he said, "Hey, go on in." Cornbread didn't realize, and Cornbread
Of
at that
course.
point also, because he had to pee, asked Delta Slim to man the door while I go pee.
Right. Right.
And
Right. Right.
Cornbread, unaware, thinking that the white people had left,
Yeah.
he goes and finds a tree deep in the woods, not even just
Okay.
right
So
outside.
okay, can we discuss why didn't my man just go around the corner? That was a plot point for me. I'm sorry.
Yes.
No,
Yeah.
I said no, no, no. Ain't nobody
Right.
walking that far to pee. So that
No.
was a problem. He could have been
Just
killed around
go,
the corner. He didn't need
yeah, go around the
no.
corner
He
on the
could have
side of
peed
the
on a
barber.
tire. Why was he? He walked a country mile to go to the
Right.
bathroom. Okay, that
Yeah.
that was one of the problems that I had. Okay, so
Yeah. But
I
there's
was like,
the other part when he went to go pee. And I'm gonna
did we
sidestep.
need the prosthetic? Did we need the prosthetic?
No, we didn't.
We did not.
But
I thought, all right,
I'm gonna sidestep just for a second.
yeah.
I thought it was really dope that they showed, and throughout, as once they introduced the vampires, they showed the glowy eyes. But I thought it was dope
Loved the glowy eyes.
when he was peeing, and he looked into he kept hearing sounds, and he was looking around, and he looked into the bushes, and he could see the glowy eyes moving around, but they obviously they kind of look like fireflies, and that kind of reminded me of like when you're watching cartoons and it's supposed to be like a
Is
scary
that what that was?
scary moment. But let me tell you what it actually is. Ryan Coogler said it in an interview, is that he got a lot of inspiration for the eyes from one of the Puss in Boots movies, where the villain was the wolf, and the wolf had the same glowing eyes.
Yeah, it looked like a dog to me. Yeah, an animal.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that movie.
And
That's
so
the
he
third
he,
Puss in
he said
Boots.
he derived that. Yeah, he said he took that from, or he got that inspiration from,
Yeah,
believe it or not, a Puss in Boots movie.
yeah, yeah. That wolf is scary. It's a
Yeah,
metaphor for death. The wolf in that movie.
yeah, yeah.
Um, and so he goes to a country mile to go walk to go pee, and Mary slips in, and of course sex because
Yeah.
of course,
She
and
but she knew that's how she was going to be able to get Stack,
of
because
course.
that's
I mean, of
yeah,
course,
that was
of
the
course.
hmm
Um, but he shouldn't have been messing with that girl anyway. But anyway, okay, I let it
No,
go.
they told her to go home, and
Yes,
she refused. They told
it
her to
was
go
such a
home.
metaphor. The concept of letting at that time, I don't care if people date out, want to date somebody white or black or whatever, but at that
Right.
time, that was dangerous for a black
Yeah.
man. That was
It really
dangerous,
was. Yeah. They
and
didn't want it dangerous for her and dangerous for them,
yeah, but you
for
see,
us.
she was careless with their lives as it was.
Right.
From the very beginning, she was careless with their lives because she walked up to them in public at the
Yeah.
train station and was like, "How dare you, blah, blah, my this, that, the other." And I'm like, girl, the people get lynched for that. What are you
Yeah,
doing?
exactly. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
she was already careless,
Right.
right? With as a character, with their safety because of
Mhm.
her hubris. She just thought nothing bad's gonna happen to her. And
Right.
so and I also like that Ryan was not afraid to kill people. He was not afraid to kill him. I love that,
Mhm.
So then they start picking them off. And okay, so let's talk about the scene where they realize they're vampires, which I thought they did really, really well. I thought that scene was really good when, the characters were like slowly realizing, when they slipped into the fantasy, the fantasy of it, right?
Yeah.
Because it was feeling very ground, although it was saturated and a little rich in tone, it still felt like grounded in reality. But now we slipped into they're vampires out here. We got to deal with it. They almost dealt with
Yeah.
the vampires as if they were. I've heard it. She's like, I've heard of them before. They're yada 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 yada. You know what I mean?
Call them,
So, and I didn't.
yeah, she called them the hates first. And I don't know if that is
Yeah,
an actual, I don't know if that's an actual
I'm gonna look
term,
it
or if
up.
that's,
The hates,
if that's something, the hates, like
the
as in,
hates, and the
yeah.
hates. I'm
Yeah,
looking
I
it
don't know
up.
if that's an actual term or if that's something that Ryan had created, but
But I loved it
initially,
because it made it feel
yeah,
real, right? It made it feel like I mean, if you go on like TikTok and you look up New Orleans or vampires, people are always saying about how they see vampires there, right?
right, right.
Now, I don't believe there are vampires walking around, but like, you know,
Yeah, there's a
what
lot of
do I know?
superstition.
Right.
There's a lot of talk and chatter about, vampires and spirits and all types of things. But to your point, while you're looking that up, Mary's
I
character.
don't see anything. Yeah, go
Oh,
ahead.
okay. Yeah, Mary's character was the first one to, obviously, once they let her in, once Corbin let her in, she
Yeah.
was the first, she was the first to reveal her vampirism.
Ooh, and
Once
the
yeah,
drool,
yeah,
great,
the drool, yes.
great. The
Um,
drool, the teeth, the makeup,
oh
the teeth were
initially,
great.
before she even bit Stack, when she spit some of that drool into his mouth, I was like,
I was
oh,
like, God damn, Ryan,
I knew right there. I was like, no, don't do it.
God damn. Because
Yeah,
people are into that kind of shit. You know what I mean? So
right,
it was
right.
right. It wasn't like it was something that couldn't happen. You know,
Yeah,
I was like,
yeah,
oh God, you know,
right.
you
But
know,
then once they busted the door down, realized that it was Mary on top of Stack. Stack is now, shivering, or, whatever, seizing. And then Mary gets up. Smoke was not about he was not about the play. He pulled out both guns and bam, bam,
Yes,
and
and then she got up.
dropped. Yeah, he dropped her, for a quick second. She starts laughing, got up, and then just ran past them
Okay, so
all.
here's another. No, but here's another story point that I bumped up against. Why did she leave?
So that part I don't know because she was already let in. I don't know why she
Right.
left.
I
think
didn't
she
understand that.
I think maybe she left because maybe she wasn't expecting Smoke to do that, and
So it's a little plot point. Yeah.
she was a newly turned vampire.
Maybe she was
So
going to get her
maybe
people. I don't know. It was a plot hole to me.
yeah,
Because
yeah,
somebody else did it, and I was like, "Why are they leaving? I don't understand."
yeah,
It's all right. The movie was so good. I forgave every little, the walk 8 miles to go pee. I forgave it.
right.
Um, but okay, so she dashes off, and is this
Hmm.
when we start? Okay, so now they lock. He won't kill his brother, and they lock him in the room.
Hmm.
Right? They lock him in the
Right.
room. Um, I can't remember if the gear up scene happens before or after this, but I just for 1 second, when he wakes up and he
Yeah. So they
stabs
hadn't. I don't think they had geared up just yet. I think they gear up
after
um
he turns.
after he breaks out. Yeah. But I
Okay,
think at that point they were still trying to figure out were they vampires or were they the hates. And that's when Annie, realized like, oh no, they got to be vampires.
right, and
Yeah.
they're the souls. They suck the soul, something, right?
And then at that point they get into the circle and they force everybody to eat a clove of
The
garlic.
garlic. Okay, can you explain to me why this girl wouldn't just eat the garlic? Eat the
Right.
garlic.
But there's always one person that is goes against the grain. In every movie, there's always one, right? And so I understood that there had to be at least one.
Yes, but
And then not only that, you also had to realize like, okay, maybe one of these people might actually be a vampire and they just
right,
haven't
and
revealed
I
it.
love that because that's very much the thing. The thing is a great movie with who's the thing, what's the thing, and I
Right.
love that whole thing. you know, um, that trope, and I think they pulled it off with Delroy.
Right.
With him taking it and like he's gonna. That worked for me, right?
Yeah.
So
For a
bitch,
second I was like, no, please don't be a
please.
vampire.
Well, that would have been amazing. Okay,
Yeah. Yeah.
I was like, girl, put the garlic in your mouth and stop.
Right. Right.
We're not. This is not. This is not. You got a little
This is
cold,
no, this is
and
life and death.
this is
Yeah.
people are dying and waking up.
Yeah.
Eat the garlic. um,
Right.
for character. I just was like, why would she just not go eat it? Anyway, so I
Mm.
liked that Annie was the one who figured it out. I liked that she was the one who figured out, when she was like, pickle garlic. I liked when she did that with the pickle juice, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, and then we had those two little great moments where the guy was like, here, take the money, and then he snatched him out. Remember? Like
Yes,
there was a,
cornbread. Yes.
yeah,
And they
it
were
was
like,
great.
you've been in and out of here all day, cornbread. Why we gotta let you
Ooh,
in?
that was
And he was like,
great.
we just out here playing around.
It
And
was
he was like,
great.
what are you talking
It
about?
was
He was like,
great.
well, at least pay me my money.
And
you know?
snatched him. I thought he
Yeah,
was gonna throw it on the floor. Why wouldn't you throw it on the floor?
right, right.
Or why
But
wouldn't you
it
throw it on the
also
floor right by the threshold to see if he can actually come in?
right, but it also still showed that even through it all, Smoke was still about his business and did not want to owe no debt to nobody. He
Oh, is that
reached
what
in
you
his
think it was? Yeah.
I mean,
Okay.
that it just adds to his character. I'm thinking
Well, let me just tell you this:
in the writer
if
mind.
somebody
Yeah.
if somebody lends me money and then become a vampire, I ain't giving them back that money.
Me either. Me either. I'm not even going to sit there and argue with you. I'm
I like I'm out. Um. All right. So okay. So now this is the point. I'm gonna skip over some stuff. Right. I love
uh,
when Anne was like, "Kill me if I become a vampire," all that stuff. But like,
yeah.
and let me tell you something. When old girl, what's her name? Grace. What's her name?
Which one?
The Asian grocery woman.
Oh, I think her name was Grace. I
I
think.
think it was Grace. I'm looking it
Yeah.
up. Grace Chow, I think. When
Yep. Grace.
when she now I know what he was going for. The daughter, we're gonna come get your daughter, la la la.
Hmm.
Well, first of all, okay, so the husband goes to get the car.
I'm gonna go get the car. I'm gonna go warm up the car. I'll be
Where was
right
the
back.
car? Where was the car?
First of all, I'm not going to get nobody's car. There's
What are
vampires
you
outside.
doing? I didn't understand. I was like, what? Same
I am not
house.
leaving. They
Okay,
said
but
just
maybe
stay here. Just stay here until sunrise. I am
that's
staying
it.
until sunrise.
Right. But black folks, listen. We trying to stay alive. Okay.
Yeah,
All right. I
yeah.
ain't going outside. In
I
fact,
am.
I'm going in the cellar with the thing locked. So he goes out. Goodbye. And then she's like, I gotta go get my man. I ain't going to get no man outside. I'm sorry.
Nope. Nope.
Peace be with you. Also with you. You're good.
Right.
You're dead. Okay.
Yeah. I'm thinking
But then
about how am I going to make it back to my daughter
right.
in one.
Okay. So now the vampire comes and is like, I'm gonna come get your daughter. Right. So
Hmm.
that's supposed to be because I know as a writer, he was trying to figure out how are they getting in
Hmm.
that slaughterhouse, right? Who's going to be the person to let them in? That's
Yeah.
the plot point he's got to jump over,
Yeah.
right?
And I'm sure that might have been a dilemma for him trying to figure out.
Of course it was because I was going, who gonna do it?
Yeah. Right.
Now I
Right.
saw it coming when she was like, my baby, we got to let him in." That did not work for me. That made
Hmm.
no sense. That
Hmm.
made I mean I let it go because I don't care because it was great. I didn't understand the character's motivation that she thought, let me let them in so we can kill them and I can go get my kid.
And then once they come in, she stabs the one with the stake that's on fire
Wrong.
and dies on fire with him.
Good. Good. Good.
That just canceled out
It
the
made
whole
no
purpose.
sense to me. It made no sense to me. I mean, I'm not. It was that was. I don't like stupid characters, and that was stupid.
Yeah.
I
But
understand,
a lot of times it's the stupid character that causes the
but she
next.
wasn't stupid before.
No, but he had to. She wasn't thinking rationally because all she could think about was, I got to get
That
back to
they
my daughter.
right. All she was thinking is they're gonna come. They're gonna go kill my kid. I get that.
Yeah. So
It would have made
all
more sense.
rationale went out the window.
Right, but you know what would have made more sense to me if that character would have ran out and tried to run through, and that would have been a terrifying scene, right?
Right.
If she would
You
have been
had
like, "I'm
everybody
gonna
saying,
run, I'm gonna try to run home," right?
yeah.
And then they would
Hmm.
have chased her into the field. Now that's terror, right? And
Yeah.
I understand that. I will jeopardize myself,
Hmm.
but I don't see how she thought letting them in was
Was
gonna
going
save
to, right.
anybody. There wasn't just one people. They saw how many people were out there. It made no sense. But okay. But again, once you're in love with the movie, it doesn't matter. Honestly, it
Yeah.
didn't make a damn
Yeah.
bit of difference. I was like, all right, they're coming in, right? And so we have the battle, and the battle was great. The battle was
Yep.
great. The battle
Hmm.
was great. Delroy went out like a king,
Yeah, he
right?
did. He
He went out
did.
like a king, like a sushi dinner. He went out.
Right. He
He was
sacrificed
like
himself
to get
and
Preacher Boy and the brother out, and
yeah.
and uh and I loved it. And I loved it. So Preacher Boy jumps out the window, right?
Hmm.
And now we have two final boss battles going on between the
Yep.
brothers
Yep.
and between the main vampire and Preacher Boy. So literally the devil versus the preacher, right?
Yeah. That. Wow. Yeah.
Because he
You're
was a
right.
preacher, because he knew
Good
his
versus evil.
verses.
Right there. Yep. Good versus
Yeah.
evil.
We
Hmm.
had Yin versus Yang with the brothers, and we had the devil versus the
Good
preacher.
versus. Yep.
What did
Hmm.
you think of okay, so there were a couple scenes that I could have lost 2 minutes off of, right?
Okay. Uh huh.
And I feel like the fight between Smoke and Stack was just a beat too long for me. Just
Hmm.
I was just like, this guy is still a vampire. I mean, first of all,
Yeah.
the physicality was beautiful. The fight
Right.
choreography was gorgeous.
And the fact that they
Um,
made Michael B.
and they
Jordan
were
fight
two people.
himself.
Well, I'm sure that they had another brother. There was another
Yeah.
brother for
Right.
sure, right?
Right.
Right. And then they face mapped him.
Hmm.
But first of all, Michael's guns, his physicality. I was like, wow, brother, you are beautiful.
Yeah.
Just such a gorgeous person physically. And then, okay, so the fight. I love that you don't see that he doesn't kill him. I didn't even
Right.
catch it.
Yeah,
And
the cutaway.
that was the great choice when
Hmm.
he wrote those two, to have them be so separate in these two battles, right? Because
Yeah.
when he cuts away, you're just in, all of a sudden now you're in the water and the baptism scene, right?
Right.
Right? And I'm
Mm.
like, oh, it's a baptism, baby. I love this,
And
you know?
how about Preacher Boy was actually giving scripture, and the
That stopped him.
vampire was saying the scripture along with him.
He was saying the Lord's Prayer,
Yes, the
wasn't it?
Lord's Prayer.
It was the Lord's
Yes.
Prayer. Um, it was a that was a great scene.
Mm.
That was a great scene. Just the imagery of him being baptized, and but ultimately it was the instrument that saved him, right?
Yes.
So,
Yes.
right? So still he's always battling those two things, right? The verse stopped him, slowed him down, but his instrument took him the fuck out,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Right?
The metal part of the guitar got.
That was that makeup was so unbelievable. I was like, wow.
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
I've got to look up who did the special effects makeup. Um,
Now the only
the
thing I could say in right after that happened, and
mhm.
to me I felt was a little rushed, just a little bit.
Tell me, I'm
But I
listening.
get it because it's, it's at the tail end of the film, or close to the
Yeah.
tail end of the sunrise was a little too
Oh,
fast.
it was
Was a little
beautiful. Yeah. You mean
it
just in
was
timeline? Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
It
Well,
just happened too fast.
I mean, okay, let me argue with you a minute. Have you ever been out all night and then all of a sudden the dawn and the sun just pops up?
So I have, but I haven't. Not necessarily actually watching it, but I get what you're saying as far as
Yeah.
it's not that
It
gradual. It
doesn't
does.
really, yeah, it's not that gradual. All of a sudden the sun's up. You're like, damn, okay, the sun's up.
Right.
And
It's
that's like,
morning.
think about you think about even filmmakers, we're like, if you're going to shoot something in the golden hour, you got a little tiny window to catch it,
Right. True.
right?
True. Very true.
The sun up or the sundown. The sundown feels a little slower. I don't know if it is, but okay.
Yeah.
So Whitney Banks was prosthetics. Um,
Mm,
Kelsey Burke was special effects makeup artist. IMBD. I don't know if they categorize leads in order, but um, I'm gonna really do a deep dive on who did uh, the makeup and the prosthetics. Head of prosthetics was someone named Erin Sweeney. Just even the hair. If you look at
yeah.
everybody's
Oh,
hair, all the women's wigs were
yeah.
amazing.
They did
I mean,
amazing.
just amazing. The makeup was beautiful, but looked real. It didn't look
Yeah.
like they were wearing makeup, right? It
Right.
didn't look like,
Everything was
right.
believable.
Yeah, the
Everything was
skin looked like
believable.
it was just gorgeous.
Yeah.
It was just, and then the prosthetics. The prosthetics was just unbelievable, right? So of
Right.
course, the CG goes on top of it, but yeah, like, and his disintegration,
Yeah.
right? That was
Hmm.
good. That was
Right.
good. That was really good. It was like, I mean, I think the best experience like that, seeing something like that, to me, is always going to be Indiana Jones, when the
Mm.
the guy melts when he sees the Ark of the Covenant. Like, to
Yeah.
me, that's the moment when I was like, oh, like, but but that that was beautiful. That was
Yeah, they did it right. They didn't
Yeah.
slack on it. They didn't make it seem like cheesy, corny
It
CGI.
felt it felt like, yeah, it felt based in anatomy, and it felt
Yeah.
based in magic, right?
Hmm.
And lore, what is melting, who is melting, what does he have in his body and his system, and what is this? Is this the devil? Is this what are vampires? Just like, it left a lot of questions. Okay, so now we have the preacher's son go home. We
Right.
full circle, right? So we have two
Yep.
major scenes left, right? We have the brother. The best, the best, the best part of the movie, in my opinion, was that when he, pulled out the guns and went to them boys'
Oh.
house. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
Went to the. He's like, I'm waiting for y'all now, right? Okay, so we have that. Let's hold that. But so Preacher
Yeah.
Boy goes to dad,
Hmm.
right? Now we're back to the beginning.
Yep.
and
Circle.
full circle. And
Hmm.
it's interesting. I didn't know.
I didn't know where he was going to go, especially why he was still holding onto that guitar. Was he going to do something with it?
I
Did he
actually thought,
actually
did he get bit? I
get
actually
bit?
thought, did he
Me
get
too. I was
bit?
like, did he get
Yeah,
bit? Yes, I
yeah.
didn't know where they were leading in
And
that. In that,
that's why I thought this is actually brilliant because you
yeah,
showed him at the beginning, and now I know what that last battle scene. I don't know what happened to him, right? So like that, I don't know what's about to happen shows how good it was a setup, right?
yes,
Because I don't know why he's walking in to that church now. I don't know what he's doing,
yeah.
and that was great.
But I'm
That
I'm
was
glad
great.
that they left it there, and I'm also glad that they showed that he ends up leaving the church
Yes.
and
Wait.
driving.
Don't go to the post credit yet. Don't go to the post
I'm
credit.
not.
Oh,
I'm not. I'm
You
not.
mean okay.
I'm
Okay.
not. But I'm just saying. I'm glad that they showed that, and they also showed that he continued to hold on to the guitar,
Because
or to
that's his church.
that's his
That's his
church,
church.
and he actively made a choice. He
Yes.
chose,
Yes.
and he said, this is my life, this is my journey.
Yes.
I'm going where this is taking me.
Yes.
Um,
Yeah.
and then we switch back to the sawmill slash slaughterhouse where
Yeah.
Michael B. Jordan.
A revenge scene.
Yes.
That was fabulous. That was fabulous. But here's what it left me thinking. I don't know if these brothers ever thought they were going to live past this weekend. I don't know. Something made me feel like because he could have just left.
Well, they had right, and that was part of the truck. The truck they had stashed, we kind of glazed over that, but the truck they
Right.
had stashed in the bushes had
Yes.
a whole bunch of, even though it had liquor
Artillery.
and all that, but it had a
Mm-hmm.
lot of artillery because his brother
Mm-hmm.
was former
Yes.
former military. Um, and so you're right. I think the long box that was buried and hidden
Yeah. Yeah.
was a just in case, I think, or a fit.
But I mean, just in case, what the Klan's rolling up, you ain't got no time to dig out a box.
Right, but Smoke stayed armed the whole movie.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
on top of him having the stability and he was the grounded person. He was also very strategic, business minded. But I think the military aspect too also lends more to his character as to the mindset that he's in. Everything is always, you got to do things by the book, and
Yeah.
if they do
Yeah.
this to you, you
Military.
got to do this to them. Yeah.
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
and so it starts out with him, as the guys arrive.
Yeah. The
he's in
sniper.
he's in the trees or in the
I
bushes.
love that because I love. First of all,
Got a little bit of Rambo and Commando in there. Yeah.
I do. I love revenge stories. Peak
Yeah.
peak enjoyment. Like the
Yeah.
Django Unchained. I'm all about it.
Yes.
Inglorious
Yes.
Bastards. I'm like
Yes.
take them out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
I love that he gave us that moment because I almost could have forgot about it. I almost could have forgot about those Klansmen because
Yeah.
we're exhausted. We're dealing with vampires. I ain't caring about no guy,
Well, I knew
regular
at some
man.
point the big gun scene was coming where he's walking in slow mo and doing
Oh,
that
see,
because
I didn't see the trailer.
they kept showing that as that's
Oh,
a
that's
key
too
trailer.
bad. Yeah.
Yeah, but you didn't
Oh, that
know
sucks.
where that was going to be in the movie, obviously.
Right, right.
So
No, I
yeah,
didn't see that, so I didn't know
yeah,
where it was going. And okay, so like the shoot. That's all great.
right,
But the best part was when the guy's crawling away and he's like, "Let me have a cigarette,"
right.
right? And then
And
that whole like
he still
incident.
hesitated. He didn't want to give him a cigarette. He hesitated.
And I love that he teased us with killing him. He really stretched it out, didn't he?
Mm-hmm.
He stretched it out. My theater erupted in applause.
Yeah,
Erupted, and I was literally like I said to you, I had two white guys sitting next to me. They were like, like people were clapping, honey. And this was a very like diverse theater. Like people were hysterical. You know,
hmm
um, there was a lot of times like that. There was a lot of moments in the movie that people erupted,
Yeah,
and that was one of them, and it was truly a satisfying moment, and
yeah. But
it was
for
really
a
good.
split second, it seemed like he was going to show him grace, but he could also feel his life being sucked away
Right.
at that
How
same
did you
time
feel
too.
about him dying, getting shot and dying?
I didn't want it to happen,
Yeah.
but I felt like maybe that that it has to come to a close somehow, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, I think,
Uh,
everything he lived for had gone, right?
exactly,
Right? His
exactly.
brother was gone,
Hmm.
right? Anna,
Annie,
Annie, excuse me. His wife was gone. His
yeah.
baby was gone. And so that
What?
beautiful moment when he saw his
Oh my
kids,
God!
his child and his wife,
Right.
that was
That's when
gorgeous.
you knew he was slipping because
Yeah,
as the guy was laying there dying and right in front of him, he looked over to his side and he saw Annie and his
yeah,
son, and she
his
was like, "Here,
baby.
you want to
That
hold
was
him?" Yeah,
beautiful. That was
yeah.
beautiful. Well, he had crossed over in my thought. I have to go see it again because when did he shoot the guy after he held the baby after he shot him, right?
Yes,
Must be
but
because I feel that's
yes,
when he died.
it
Yeah,
is. But he shot so before she handed him the baby, he shot up dude
he
like
shot.
you know
Yeah,
like
bye.
nobody's business. Yeah,
Yeah, bye, goodbye.
and
Yeah, peace.
and then that's when I think that's when he officially crossed over is when he took
Yeah,
his his baby into his arms,
yeah, that was
and
beautiful. I love that. I loved because she said that. I've got people
mhm,
waiting for me. I've got someone waiting for me. That was beautiful.
exactly.
And then, I was sad too that he died. But I think it was inevitable, right? There was a wildness and a carelessness
Mhm,
about the character. So, um, the characters, the brothers, that made me feel like they didn't have long for this world. I mean, quite frankly, had vampires not shown up, the clan was coming anyway, right? So there was
right.
going to be a shootout anyway, right? There
Mhm.
was going to be a shoot. So nobody was making it past to Monday. Nobody was making it to Monday. So, all right. So, did you know there was a credit scene?
So I did only because there was a few people that I follow that was able to see a screening much earlier than I was, and
Hmm.
they had mentioned that there were two credit scenes at the end. Um,
Two.
they just had to stay through all the way to the very tail end, the
Wait,
final.
wait,
Yeah,
wait. There are two. I missed
there
one.
were yeah.
Wait.
So you didn't stay into the final working title.
Okay, so
Can you,
here's how it went for me. Again,
okay,
not knowing anything about nothing, I
yeah,
went and when the first credits roll, I got up. I was like, I'm out.
no,
So I go
no,
downstairs and the guy picking up, there's about he's like, girl, sit down. It's like a 10-minute scene. I was like, oh, okay. So I go back and I sit in another spot. I was at the IMAX
yeah,
theater, but and I was like, oh shit. But not
yeah,
everybody had gotten up, so most people must have known. All right, so let's talk about that scene, and then you're going to tell me
yes.
there's another scene after that. You can't tell me though now because I don't know. Okay,
Okay, you don't want me
okay,
to spoil the final scene.
no, because I didn't know. I didn't know. I left. They turned on
Okay,
the lights.
yeah. I can I just give you a hint? I'm not going to tell you. I'm not going to tell you what it was, but can I give you a hint?
Mhm. Go ahead.
The hint is it doesn't lend more to the movie, but it spotlights someone in the movie. I would say that.
Okay, that's a good
That's all
teaser.
I'm just. That's all I'm
Okay,
gonna say.
all right. So let's talk
Um,
about the first cut scene. So
yeah.
the first scene is first of all that was a brilliant cut when the
Yes.
credits are rolling and then they cut to the scar on the old man's face. Right? I
No.
think that's how.
Before you even get there. Before you even get
Where?
there. No.
Okay.
It's the same scene, right? They're at the Blues Club.
Yeah.
Did you catch what the name of the Blues Club was called?
No.
It was called Perlene's.
I
Yes. The Blues Club was called
did
Perlene.
not catch that. That's great. That's
Yeah.
great. So
Yes.
that was his
And
Blues Club.
yeah, He owned it. That's his Blues Club. He followed his dream. He followed his path.
Yeah, no, I got that. I felt that he got the fame and the glory and the skill and all. I didn't know. I didn't know. I didn't catch it. I didn't catch it. It
Yeah.
was his club,
Mhm.
and I didn't
That's
catch
why
it for
that's
Arlene.
why when all the doors closed and they were
He was still
cleaning up,
there.
he was still there at the
See,
bar,
because I okay, so that because I asked myself that I was like, why is he still there? And that makes sense.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
All right. So when he
There
walked in, when old boy walked in with the kid and play sweater,
1992.
yeah, that
1992,
that
and
was
he had
straight
the
up.
Coogee sweater,
I
the
was like,
Tupac
that is.
he had the Tupac glasses, and
It
he
was
had
crazy.
he had the two-step high top fade.
It was crazy. It was
I said
fabulous.
I said, "Get
It was
out of here."
fabulous. You know how many people won't get that? You got to be a certain age to get that. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
I was like,
Yeah.
I give you praise, my brother, because that was amazing.
Yes.
Um,
Yeah.
I loved that scene because I loved that they just came to connect. Right? What was the purpose of them showing up? I just felt like they wanted to like hear his music or I didn't because they could have killed him.
I think it's two things because and
Okay.
they kind of explained it. I think that he made a deal with his brother that he wasn't going to kill him.
Oh, right, right, right. I forgot that. Right. You're right.
Yeah,
You're
but
right.
however, I also think they showed up because I think they showed up as now is the time his chickens have come to roost. I think
He's gonna
he's now
die.
he and they sensed it, they could smell it.
Mm,
So because he's getting ready to transition, I
crossover.
think yeah, crossover. I think that's why they were there. I don't think it was just any old check-in because they chose the time. And then not only
Yes.
that, um, um, uh, Sam, preacher boy,
Hmm.
said said something like, "I don't think I got much more time left," or
Yes.
something to
Yes.
that effect.
He did say that. Yes.
Yeah.
He did say that. I
Um,
forgot about the
so-
brother making him promise, which was a great callback because you were like, "Oh, you got
yes.
me," because
Yeah.
Um. So you think so you think they've come there because he's about to pass. They can sense it. So what are they trying to do? Oh, God, you have to.
Honestly,
You're gonna have to.
honestly, I don't know.
You're gonna have to tell me
Well,
what's.
I think
You're
actually,
gonna have
you
to
know
tell
what?
me the scene.
I think before we get there, I think because one other thing that Michael B. Jordan that Stack says is that well, we can make you live forever,
Right, I remember that.
and I think that Preacher Boy kind of brushes that off, like no, I don't want to do that, like almost like I lived a
Hmm.
full life, I'm good,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know.
Maybe was
Uh,
that what they were doing? Were they trying to give him
I
so that
think
his
so.
music didn't go away?
Well, no, I think that's why they were there. Like I think they could sense his chickens have come to roost. He's getting ready to transition. Now's our time. We can actually bring him over to our side, And
Hmm.
he and Preacher Boy said, "No, I think I'm good," even though he felt like he didn't have much more time left. Um, and so that's when they get up and they walk away, and it was like, "All right, see you around," or whatever they said as they're leaving. I think
Hmm.
that was just like their final. It's like, here's your final chance to join us.
Yeah, maybe.
You know,
Yes, right.
yeah,
So
and
why were they still alive? I
because they're vampires, and Smoke didn't kill his brother, and
right.
Haley.
That
Remember, Haley ran off. We never saw Haley, or
yeah, yeah, yeah.
we never
Annie,
saw her
Mary,
die.
maybe some
Mary,
Mary.
yeah, Mary. We never saw Mary die either.
Right. We never
Um,
saw Mary because Mary booked it. Right
right,
after that.
and not
Right.
only
Okay.
that, I thought it was also interesting that now that they're in vampire life, they're together now. They're a couple.
Okay. So I'm gonna now give an arching thing here before you spoil the movie because I didn't. So you're telling me there was another scene?
Yes, there was another scene, one more
Okay.
scene at the
All right.
very, very tail
Wow.
end.
Okay. They need to tell people this because a lot of people left.
But it's genius because it also gets you to go back to see it again if you missed it, if you
Yeah,
walked
but I'm
out
an A
before.
member. I don't pay. It's not like I pay money.
Right. Yeah.
Um. Okay. So
Do you,
one of the things that I thought. Let me just tell you this one thing. One of
uh
the things that I thought was amazing was that they actually got me to feel compassion for the vampires. when the actor playing the vampire, I can't remember his name, I should look it up. He was so good. And when he talked about, this is how we're free,
Remick.
Remick. This is how we are free.
Yeah.
Come with us. I was like, you know what?
Yeah.
I get it. Can you bite me somewhere discreet? You know what I mean? Like,
And to his point, they literally are free. They don't die. They just can't come out in the
right,
sunlight.
right. There is sadness, right, where we don't get to see X and Y and do Z or whatever the things. Or there's a
They don't
big
have to do
monologue.
financial transactions. They don't have to live in the system that we live in.
Right,
Honestly.
right.
Yeah.
And
And it's
I loved that. I thought that was really beautiful. I
mhm.
never really felt that, and I don't mean sort of like in a silly Twilighty kind of way. I
Yeah.
mean like where these are vampires that are petrifying, but yet he wrote a monologue that really made me have compassion for them in the
Right.
sense of everybody's just trying to get a little piece of peace, right? Everybody's just trying to, because at the time, think about it, that character was Irish. At the time, the Irish were just one rung above blacks in the pecking
Right.
order of who got treated like shit, right?
Right. Which is
So
why I think Ryan chose Irish and not any other
yeah,
um, nationality or background, cultural
yeah.
background.
So their desire to have their own sense of freedom, you
Hmm.
know, uh, was powerful. Okay, so what what happens at the cutscene? So okay,
Do you-
so yes, I do because now I need to know. So they leave the House of Blues, the Perlines. They leave Perlines,
yep.
and then the credits, right? The credits go up,
Yeah.
and then a
Then the rest of
whole
the
nother slew of credits.
yeah, like 5 minutes of
The
credits.
little, the little tiny credits, right? The
Yeah,
the
yeah,
cab driver to Michael B. Jordan credits, right?
yeah. Like
Equally important,
They go past Panavision and thanking
all of them should.
Australia.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
go past all of that, and then
The
finally you get the
Louisiana,
final
the
working.
Louisiana Film Division, right,
All,
right, right.
they get past all of that. They get past
Okay.
all the way until you get the final small print
Yes,
of
yes,
Sinner, and
yes.
then
I know exactly.
the screen goes black, and then the final scene comes on, and
Okay, I'm ready.
all the
Okay,
final scene is Preacher Boy as he's still Preacher Boy. He's not the grown Preacher Boy, and
okay.
he's in the church, and he's playing his guitar and he's singing.
In heaven.
So, to your point that you said this entire podcast, that was his church.
That was his church.
That was
That
his
was his
church.
heaven. That was
Yep.
his heaven. Like I always say that to people when they're like, I had to have heart surgery, and as soon as I could walk and get out of my apartment, and I went to a movie. Right?
Wow.
It's my church. It's
Yeah.
the place I'm like most happy. Somebody's telling me a story, and hopefully it's good. And in this case, it was fucking spectacular.
Yeah. It was. It was. It was. So okay. So out of everybody that has been ranking it, whether you want to do the grade system, or if you want to do 1 out of 10, or if you want to
Yeah,
do 5 stars, where do you
yeah.
rank Sinners in your book?
I would give it a 4.5 out of 5.
Okay.
Right, a 9.5 out of 10. Like
Gotcha.
there are
Gotcha.
only like tiny little things that would bring it to 10 that are just so little tiny things that
Yeah.
um uh it was damn near perfect.
I was gonna say in my book, I'm still going to rank it 10 out of 10. For me, it's not always about the story. It's
Yeah,
about how it makes me feel at the end. And then if I can retain a lot of what I watched,
yeah,
that also is a direct indicator that I really enjoyed this movie more than others, more than I thought, because it's
yeah,
a lasting effect.
yeah,
Um, and I got that lasting effect with this film, for a multitude of reasons. One, it's original, it was
yes,
different, the
yes,
cinematography was spectacular, um, the overall story, even though there were very very minute plot holes here and
yeah,
there,
Well,
Uh,
see, for me, the thing is that when I'm in the theater, it's the experience that I have, right?
yeah, yeah,
So for me, it's the reason why it loses that half point is when I'm sitting in the theater, I go that is the thing that makes me go, come on.
yeah,
She
yeah.
walking a mile to pee. She's he's
And,
telling them
and
to come in the house.
I didn't do any of that as I'm watching the movie.
Yeah,
I'm
see, so you stayed locked in, right?
Yeah, I stayed
Yeah,
locked in the entire time. And
yeah,
then another thing that I do, maybe because I come from this world, I tend to overanalyze as I'm watching, and
yeah,
as I'm overanalyzing, I couldn't in the moment I couldn't find any flaws. I was
yeah,
actively looking for the flaw, like, okay, what am I not
yeah.
going to like? What am I not going to
Right.
like? But
No,
I
no. Now I didn't go in expecting it, but for me, the thing that happens, and listen, I'm in the middle of writing a script right now, right?
yeah,
And the number one question I ask myself is, will this piss you off in a movie theater?
yeah.
That is
But see,
literally
I'm okay with being pissed off sometimes if it's the right story or the right
yeah,
message.
yeah.
Because I feel in some cases we need to be pissed off about certain things because we need to
Oh
be
yeah,
activated.
yeah.
Yeah.
A hundred
But
percent. No, listen, I'm not saying that the movie was, anything. The movie was spectacular.
mhm, mhm. I don't give a lot of movies a perfect score,
Yeah,
but just for what this man's been able to accomplish, the fact that it was original, the
yes.
cinematography, he did it in
Now,
IMAX.
wait a minute. You didn't ask me to tell you what I give Ryan. I give Ryan a 10 out of 10.
I thought that this, and I also typically don't like or do too many vampire movies,
Oh
um,
God, I
but
love
I
them.
knew
I love
I knew from the jump I was going to watch this, and then when the trailer came out, that got me even more hype. And I'm usually not this hype about a vampire
Yeah.
flick.
I've seen a lot of them. I've seen most of
Yeah,
them, right? And you know, because they've been done so much, there's a lot of tropes and a lot of like things that people do that you go, oh, I've seen it, done, it's been done. He
right.
really had none of that. He
No,
really, like, yes, he had the garlic, yes, he had the sun. There's certain rules and lore, but people also break them. But the
yeah,
way they handle, like the like, for example, just the water. I thought she was
yeah,
gonna say it was holy water. It wasn't holy water. It was fucking garlic water, and I thought that was so good, right? That was so good. That was a choice that he made. That was different than
yeah,
the lazy writer that would just say, oh, she happened to have, she blessed the holy water or whatever. I will probably actually even love it more once I watch it again, because in the movie
right.
theater, um, I was tense, which is great,
Yeah,
right?
me too. Me too.
And I
I'm the type
love
of
that.
person when the movie starts, it doesn't matter what movie I'm watching. If it
Yeah,
grabs me, it
yeah,
almost feels as if I'm in the movie. I'm like a part
yes,
of the movie.
in the same way.
That's,
Yeah, I get very absorbed.
yes,
Yeah, I get very absorbed, and I love that. And this was a
a testament to that.
extraordinary experience. And I,
Yeah.
I don't know what it feels like for somebody who's not black. I don't know what it feels like, but I know as a black woman, I
Mhm.
felt this sense of pride.
I'm here to tell you, we're all rooting for Ryan Coogler. In my
Yeah,
mind, I think this is another Black Panther moment.
yeah.
Um, Maybe they're not coming out in droves like they did for Black Panther,
I mean,
but
well, listen, yeah, Black Panther to me was a 10. That movie was almost
yeah,
perfect.
yes,
Yeah, I don't
yeah,
think there was a thing that I didn't like about it. I thought Michael B. Jordan was genius in it. Um,
yeah,
you know what? I'm looking at the trailer as it's playing on IMDb. Damn, this movie is beautiful.
yeah. Well, even like the way it was shot, everything that he did, the tonality he chose before it turned into the vampire
Yes, yes.
parts.
You know what we're gonna do when this movie streams? We're gonna look at it again, because there's
Yeah,
stuff that, when you go to the theater, you can't dissect it the way you do when you stream it, right?
yeah.
Um,
I even like the fact that he chose for Smoke and Stack to be red and blue opposed to white and black. Or
yeah, no, I
and
like that.
it to me, he's from California. I think that
It's
in his
Blood and
mind,
Crips, isn't it?
blood and crip. Yeah, even though I
Yeah,
don't think he necessarily said that, but I think he was. There's probably a certain part of his mind that
of
probably went
course.
there.
I think the final thoughts that I would have is, I think Delroy Lindo should get an Oscar nomination.
Oh,
I think he
really?
should get it.
Wow.
I really do. I think he was that good. I think he should get, like, I think this movie should be Oscared up.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, absolutely.
right?
This, if
100%.
they do not nominate this film, and
It
if
won't
this film
surprise me, quite frankly, but
does not win an award,
yeah. But
the
I think
system,
Delroy is,
we already know the system is rigged, but it's like
yeah.
this, that would be the ultimate rug pull.
But I think screenplay. I think Delroy. I
Hmm.
think makeup, prosthetics. The makeup prosthetics was the special effects was unbelievable. Cinematography,
Yeah. The sound,
director,
the sound,
sound, the
the sound.
sound,
Yeah.
the sound.
Sound. And and the sound was multi-layered. That's one piece that we didn't really talk about
No,
this movie. And there's certain moments where the sound is multi-layered. It
yes,
was almost like it wasn't just one
yes,
traditional sound behind it. There were
yes,
other things that were
yes. It
layered
was
in there, and
extraordinary.
as you're listening and watching, you're trying to catch what everything
Yeah,
that you're hearing and that you're
yeah,
experiencing, and it's hard
yeah.
to catch it all, especially in IMAX. The speakers are loud,
So
it's
big.
loud in
Yeah,
there,
yeah, yeah,
but you could feel it. You
yeah.
could feel
You
it.
could
Yeah,
feel the difference in the atmosphere and the sound from inside the
yeah,
juke joint to the
yes.
outside by the log, right? To when
Mhm.
they were the way the music sounded when they were dancing, the Irish music, where the music sounded there
Yeah,
compared to the way the music sounded where it was captured. It was
yeah. But I
it
even
was
love that
so
he even gave Irish culture a moment too. Like, it wasn't just the fact that the characters were Irish. He incorporated the Irish music, the
yes,
Irish dance.
yes.
It was like their version of what was going on inside
It
the
was
juke joint.
exactly the same. It was
Yeah,
exactly the same, you know?
yeah,
And dancing, right, is always again a way for people to connect, right? You think about like Titanic, right? Like you think about the movie Titanic with, Rose and Jack's character
Jack.
when they come together, right? And they're
Uh-huh.
dancing. It's like I wish them vampires could have hung out. I wish it could have been kumbaya,
Yeah,
right? That would have been a party.
that would have
That
been
would have been
crazy. Yeah,
that would have been a
that would have been
party.
crazy.
All right. I'm so glad we got to talk about this.
Me too. Yeah.
Kevin,
Okay.
thank you so much.
Thank you,
All right.
Victoria. I appreciate it. Yes,
All
yes. I
right. See
loved
you
it.
soon, man.
All right. Have a good one.
Bye.